Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Thursday, 18th April 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group, an expected slowdown in economic growth in Latin America and the Caribbean announced. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, says economic growth in the Latin American and Caribbean region is expected to slow down. This as the fund shared the latest edition of its World Economic Outlook on Tuesday. TTT's Terrian Brown Campbell has the story.
In its latest edition of the World Economic Outlook, the International Monetary Fund indicates there will be a decrease in the financial outlook for the Latin American and Caribbean region.
The Latin American Caribbean region, we see growth that is is going to slow down a little bit from 2.7% to 2.5%. The numbers I give you here are excluding Argentina and Venezuela, who have fairly specific environments, and that's revised up in 2024 by 0.2 percentage point.
Economic Council and Director of Research at the IMF, Pierre-Olivier Gorinchas, shared a bit of its outlook beyond this quarter.
There is a lot of resilience in the region as well, although, of course, the number of countries in the region have tight monetary policy, in fact, tight monetary policy that started ahead of what advanced economies did, and that is weighing down on growth and is expected to go away as we have some easing of monetary conditions.
Turning to the effect on the global economy of the crisis in the Ukraine, Mr. Gorinchas said his team looked at different scenarios.
The one that we describe in detail in our report is one where you would have fairly significant disruptions in oil markets that would lead to a 15% increase in oil prices and also increase in shipping costs.
In response to the question from a journalist on the effect of the continuing Ukraine crisis, the IMF official expanded.
You're right that there would be an impact on business confidence. There would be an impact on investment, probably. The increased inflation that would come from higher energy prices would trigger a response from central banks that would tighten interest rates in order to secure inflation coming back to target, and that would weigh down on activity, and that would do so.
The April edition of the World Economic Outlook was released during a hybrid press conference from Washington, D.C. Terrian Brown Campbell, TTT News.
The newly installed police commissioner in Jamaica began his divisional tours in the sections of St. Andrew and St. Catherine. During the visits, Dr. Kevin Blake praised his team for their contribution to crime reduction in the first quarter of 2024. The Jamaica Constabulary Force previously disclosed a 10% decrease in aggregate crime. Dr. Blake expressed optimism that their efforts will be sustained throughout the year. CVM Live has more.
The newly installed police commissioner began his divisional tours in sections of St. Andrew and St. Catherine. During the visits, Dr. Kevin Blake praised his team for their contribution to crime reduction in the first quarter of 2024. The Jamaica Constabulary Force previously disclosed a 10% decrease in aggregate crime. Dr. Blake expressed optimism their efforts will be sustained throughout the year.
Both Era 4 and Era 5 have been doing exceptionally well in terms of their strategies and murder reduction and the effort. And the motivation that I've seen on the ground, speaking with the men and women, is very encouraging. and the figures are reflecting. We expect great things for the rest of this year. We are taking it quarter by quarter. The last quarter was excellent. Our figures were probably one of the lowest that we've had in a number of years, and we've gotten promises that this quarter that we're in now is going to be even better. And so I'm happy for the type of energy that I'm seeing from the command, the various divisional commanders have over the space and their understanding of the problem and their articulation of the problem. And I strongly believe, and I'm very optimistic, that we will see great things to come.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The national power grid is set to receive a significant boost following a newly inked deal between the government of Guyana and a Qatari energy firm. Additionally, recruiting engineers from Cuba will enhance the power company's technical capabilities. These steps aim to improve the overall efficiency and reliability of the national power supply. Carice Gonzalez of HGP News provides more details.
President Ali over the weekend announced that the government, in collaboration with the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated, GPL, has finalized an accord with a Qatari-based energy entity to supply 36 megawatts of electricity to the national grid.
I wish to announce that today, government through the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated conducted a time charter agreement with UCC Holding for a power ship to be deployed to Guyana within 3 weeks.
President Ali, in responding to grievances regarding frequent power outages nationwide, expressed optimism that the introduction of a power supply ship would significantly mitigate the issue.
This arrangement will bring an additional 36 megawatts of power to the national grid to offset generation shortfalls.
Although the costs regarding procurement and maintenance of the power ship were not disclosed, Ali guaranteed that the vessel is being acquired at a reasonable cost.
The vessel will be chartered for a period of 24 months from the date of commencement of the agreement. This power arrangement is being obtained at a very competitive cost. It will cover the charter costs of the vessel, including its generating engines, as well as operations and maintenance costs.
The power ship is expected to arrive in 3 weeks. Additionally, he acknowledged that while the power supply ship is expected to inject 36 megawatts into the Demerara Berbice Interconnectivity System, DBIS, there remains a requirement for an additional 60 megawatts to meet escalating power demands. Addressing government's intention to recruit engineers from Cuba to enhance GPL's technical capabilities, the president said attempts to engage local engineers were unsuccessful due to high demand in alternative sectors.
Additionally, we are taking steps to increase the technical capacity of GPL by recruiting an additional 10 engineers with relevant skills to ensure adequate maintenance.
GPL's more than 200,000 customers for almost a year were forced to endure long hours of blackout, with the past 6 months the most unbearable months with no relief in sight and the government engaging in tit for tat with the opposition. Reporting for the HGP 90 News, I am Carice Gonzalez.
The Bahamas' Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernanda releases the 2023 crime statistics. Cleopatra Murphy of ZNS News reports on this.
11%. That's how much rape increased in 2023, with 61 cases recorded. It's the only category of crime that saw its numbers increase compared to the year before, with victims knowing their assailants in 50% of the cases. Murder, on the other hand, trended down 14%, with 110 recorded.
With respect to crime against the person, murder was down 110 in 2023 to compare to 128 in 2022. Unlawful sexual intercourse, 134 compared to 139 in 2022. Armed robberies, 368 compared to 555 the previous year.
Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando gave those 2023 statistics during his annual Meet the Press on Monday. In the case of murder and armed robbery, he says firearms continue to be the weapon of choice, adding that some 355 illegal weapons were removed from the streets in 2023 and 8,895 rounds of ammunition were recovered. As for those homicides, Fernando says 75 suspects who were on bail committed murder, 33 victims were killed while on bail, while 25 victims were killed while being electronically monitored. While he insists one murder is too much, the Commissioner of Police lauded police's murder solvency rate, which with 41 murders in 2024 stands at 73%.
72 of the 110 were solved, which represent a 65% solvency rate. And I must commend the men and women of this great organization. All areas contributed to the success rate with respect to the solvency rate with murders.
When it comes to property crime, that is also down 19%.
372 housebreaking reported in 2023 compared to 507 in the previous year. Stealing 1,038 compared to pretty much the same as the previous year. Stolen vehicle is also down. 2023, 257 compared to 330 in the previous year.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.